If you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, Wendy Y. Bailey.
Hello again and welcome everyone. As always, I'm excited to bring you another amazing guest for today's episode. Colin Thompson is a Canadian-born Jamaican who lives in China. We're going to talk to him a little bit about how he got there and what he does today. But I'm excited that I have the opportunity to talk to him about what he does, what his company does in coaching, consulting, and training, specifically around careers. So welcome to the show, Colin.
Ni hao, Wendy. What's your Colin? Hello, Wendy Y. I am Colin Thompson. It is great to be on your show this morning. This morning for me, although it's evening for you.
Yeah, you're 13 hours ahead of me. And we talked about that before we started the recording. And I'm always like connected to that because my team is nearby where you are. So I totally understand. I love that we were able to be flexible around the timing of your episode and, you know, preparing for it, because we live in a virtual world. So you have to have flexibility when you live in a virtual world. Time zones really do play a part in how you operate. And sometimes I'm up at midnight talking to my team, you know. Either on Zoom or I'm talking to them on Slack or something. We're communicating. And I love that they're all the way on the other side of the world and we can still do that and be productive. So yeah. So tell us more about what you do and who you serve.
So as you mentioned, I founded a company about 2-3 years ago. We are specializing in coaching and training. I do a little bit more than that. Here in China, you have to really classify your business. So it's really a business consulting company here. In the US, I also have a company that does the same thing, business consulting. And it's a very vast amount of things we do under that business consulting umbrella, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But mainly here in China, I serve. It's going to sound very, I want to use the word corny, but mainly I serve people who recognize that they want to do better. That could be in their career. It could be in their private life. It doesn't matter. I get an emotional high off helping people to go beyond their borders. And it's really because of how I was raised, being a Canadian-born Jamaican, being an immigrant to the US. Immigrants are very hungry. And my parents were double immigrants, immigrated from Jamaica to Canada, and we were nice and comfortable in Canada, but again, they went from Canada to the US, and they had that immigrant hunger. And going there, being Black and going to the US, we never felt that there were limits, even though a lot of people who are Black in the US really feel their limits. So I always try to coach people up that there are no limits. So me being a coach and motivator is just in my lane.
Yeah. The thing that to me, I understand as I was born here, raised here in the US, we have a different perspective around hunger, as you described it, than immigrants. Like you said, immigrants are hungry. You understand that there are opportunities that are there for you to really partake of. We as Americans don't always understand that. So we take a lot for granted. Sometimes it's entitlement, and sometimes it's also just not understanding the world of possibilities that living in America really offers us, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I look at it like this. When you're in America, you don't watch TV about any other country and say, wow, I wish I was there. But if you're outside of the US and you're watching TV, you say, wow, I want to get there. People aren't fighting to get to Poland. Okay, people are fighting to get to the U.S. So it's hard to see where you want to be when you're there already.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you end up in China?
Well, I didn't end up in China. I
Okay.
made a very calculated move to China. And it goes back to the way my father raised his children. He raised us to be citizens of the world, explore, explore, explore. And luckily, when I was in my late 20s, I went back to Howard University, my alma mater, to work.
You know.
To work. At the time, I was the director of technology for the School of Business. And one beautiful thing about working for Howard after a couple of years is called tuition remission, where you can take classes at a discounted rate. So I took it 3.5 years part-time and got my MBA. And when I was to interview after my MBA, I had one requirement for any company. I needed to get international opportunities. And IBM said, hey, you know what? Come work with us.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we can't guarantee it, but join this program they have. It's a 2-year program, different rotations. And my final rotation was in Shenzhen, China in January 1, 2008. So I came here and I remember my manager asking me a question. He said, Colin, what do you want to accomplish in these 6 months where you're going to be here? And I said to him, I said, look, 5.5 months from now, I want you to offer me a job to stay here. And that happened. I've been here ever since. So I made a calculated move to get here. Yeah, calculated move to get here because I recognized a long time ago there's a whole world out there, not just one country. And I know so many of my friends who don't even have a passport. Okay, so I really wanted to be that exception, somebody who got that experience.
And the thing that I also know in terms of your backstory, you met and married your wife there.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm an avid sports fan, not watching, but actually participating. And one thing, Wendy Y, that I tell you, you don't do, the night before a marathon, don't drink alcohol. And for whatever reason,
Well, that seems like common sense.
It does.
Was that lost somehow on you?
It was lost, young and dumb. I had too many drinks the night before a marathon. So during the marathon, the next day, I was very, very slow. And luckily I was, because this girl runs up beside me and says hello to me. And then, 10 years later, we're married.
Yeah. That's a good love story. I love hearing those. You learned your lesson about drinking alcohol the night before a marathon, though, for sure. After that.
I learned the lesson. I'm not going to say it hasn't happened again, but I've definitely learned the lesson.
Okay. So you're a glutton for punishment too. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I get it. So is there anything else you'd like for us to know about your business, your career, what you do, and why you're so passionate about helping people?
Well, I think just the transition from IBM, established job, consistent paycheck, to the entrepreneur side where it's
inconsistent and unpredictable income.
See, inconsistent means it still comes now and then. Okay, we're talking about nothing, right? So I think luckily being here in China so long and my father went through a tough financial time when I was in high school, and I vowed never to allow that to happen. So I've always been my friends will say cheap, but I've always been very wise with my money. And I learned about investing, IRAs and whatnot, and 401ks and 403bs a long time ago. So when I decided to take that chance and not go back to IBM, go to another company, I had to have a runway. And that runway means you have some time to really build your business up. So the reason I decided to go into my own business, I've always wanted to do something. And in the back of my head, it was back here because when I shared my dream with some people, some said, yeah, Colin, go for it. And some said, oh, Colin, I know you. That's not your thing. Yeah. And you know what happened, Wendy Y? 10 people can say do it. One person says don't do it. That one dissenting voice is much louder. Yeah. So for a long time, I didn't go for it, but it was still here in my head. And IBM gave me an opportunity to move to Beijing. We were not going to do that because we didn't want to move to Beijing. And I told my wife, I said, honey, in 6 months, my job is going away. and I'm not going to apply for any other job. And I told another friend the same thing, and she said, Colin, now's the chance to do the business you want to do. And if you don't do it now, maybe you won't do it. And that was it. That was it. So I decided I'm burning my boats. I'm not giving myself back a plan. And that was 2.5 years ago. And I've been going consistently now in building my coaching business. My dream is being a motivational speaker, is being an inspirational speaker. So for me, I want to start a business where I'm getting paid by talking. I'm not selling you a product. I don't have any manufacturing costs, shipping costs. No, I'm getting paid by talking, either sharing my coaching, my training, or consulting your business. So everything I do, what you see now, Wendy Y, this is the product. So for me, I always want to be able to control my destiny. So having a business where, I'm really making a living by talking, I love it. Yeah. I absolutely love it.
2.5 years in, though, I got to tell you, you're just getting started. You're just getting started, but it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Because like you said, the runway is open and the sky's the limit. I love your story. Yeah. I totally love your story. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will dig into our signature segment called Profitable Wisdom. Okay.
All righty. I'll be here.
Hi, everyone. Wendy Y here. And I want to extend a personal invitation to you to join the Profitable Coaching Society. It's a growing community of more than 300 coaches, speakers, industry leaders, marketplace influencers, and emerging thought leaders who look, sound, and have businesses just like you. Over in the society, we are talking all things sales and marketing. We're talking personal development. We're talking professional development. And my goal in creating this community is to make sure you have a place where you can come and get sales and marketing support, coaching, tips, strategies, and you also have an opportunity to network with others in the community. So be sure to join me at profitablecoachingsociety.com. That's profitablecoachingsociety.com, and I'll see you over there. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Hey, this is Tanya Smith, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment now so that you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Laura E. West, a certified lipsologist, and you've tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now, and you'll be notified when the next episode goes live.
Hey there, I'm Ty Goodwin, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Okay, welcome back. We've been talking with Colin Thompson. He has such a rich story around moving abroad. He lives in Asia, in China, and how he has embarked upon this new venture 2.5 years in now. The runway is open and the sky's the limit. Let's jump into our signature segment and kind of find out what Colin's made of. That's the way I like to think of these questions. So question 1. Who's had the greatest influence on you in your life, Colin?
Can I say 2 people or 2 things?
Absolutely.
I think, Wendy, while you mentioned that you're a movie buff. So if you recall the movie A Christmas Carol, I think it's A Christmas Carol. That's a story about Scrooge, right?
Yep.
Right. So
which version?
the version with the older white gentleman who died a few years ago. I can't remember his name.
The black and white version, right? It's the
white version. Yeah, black and white version. Right. And if you remember, in that movie, he was visited by the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. And what I got from that, and it's not from that movie, but I always imagine the ghost, all the 3 ghosts coming to me when I'm on my deathbed and saying, Colin, what did you achieve in your life? And looking at them and saying, you had all these tools to do this, and you didn't do it. What regrets do you have? And I always want to make sure I don't have any regrets. So for me, doing my business, starting my coaching business, my training business, motivating people, being inspirational to people, that's what I had to do. So I think that movie inspired me because it made me look at, if I was talking to myself from the past, present, and the future, how did that conversation go? And I want to be able to say, I did it, I tried. So that's one part. And then a gentleman named Byron Van Epps, whom I met in the year 2000, I believe it was, 2000. He hired me, he took a chance on me. This is right after the year 2000 year 2000 bug. I'm an IT guy. So he hired me at
I'm
a
a
very
former IT girl, so I get it.
okay. He hired me at a very high salary and took a chance on me. But the thing about him, he could really, it's sort of like a used car salesman. He was very slick, very, very slick. He could sell water he could sell ice to an Eskimo, okay? I mean, he was very, very slick, but he taught me how to also think on my feet, always have confidence. Even if I don't have confidence, how to have confidence. And he really inspired me because we were doing government contracting, and he said, Carl, let's go walk the halls. And we go to a government building and literally walk down a hallway and meet people and just say hello and talk to them. And when, people hate cold calling. Imagine just going and saying hi to somebody, and by the end, getting the card or really making that relationship. So he taught me how to talk to people and make them be at ease. He was one of those, if you recall, those multi-level marketing guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. So he could talk really, really slick, but he taught me how to talk to people and how to put a smile on my face and how to make them feel relaxed. So those two things, I think, had the biggest impact on me.
Yeah. The thing that I was thinking as you were talking about walking the halls, this was pre 9/11, because you can't get in government buildings today.
Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
was before everything shut down.
Before everything shut down.
So yeah. And, I believe that time and place happen for a reason in our lives. And, you were able to do that pre 9/11. And that's why it's made such a mark on you in your life and your career. I love it. I love that. So what's the best business advice you've ever received?
The best business advice. So as you know, as an entrepreneur, you have to pivot. And I was talking to a young lady a few years ago, and she was sharing a story about how she started her business. And she gave me a phrase that I love. It's called, "Yes, I do. I'll be right back." So what that means,
I got that immediately, but go ahead.
Yeah. So if you talk with somebody and they say, Carl, do you know anybody that can do some agile training? Yes, I do. I'll be right back. And what that means is I'm about to go spend some hours online learning about agile and come back and say, I can do that, right?
Yeah.
Got it. You think about the matrix, right? Put that, plug you in, load you up. And to me, that's what business consulting is. You have to be able to pivot and serve your clients. So one thing I always tell people, Carl, what's the focus of your business? Well, I focus on coaching, training. What do you need? Yeah, I do know somebody. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So me being able to service a lot of people is really some of the best advice I got.
Yeah. The thing that I'm clear on is the world that we live in is all about relationships. One of my favorite digital mentors, and now, we're cousins, he's been on the show, Simon T. Bailey, says relationships are the new currency of the 21st century. And I like to say relationships are the currency for 2021 if you really want to make it, because relationships are everything. So that aspect of service and yes, I'll be right back. Yes, I do. I'll be right back is part of how you serve your clients, and you build relationships based on that. They begin to trust you and see you as a one-stop shop for what they need. So I think that's
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I'll tell you, with my career counseling, because I do a lot of career counseling, career coaching, and I tell my clients, I say, when you're ready to start looking for a new job, make sure you tell your friends and your network, because odds are that new job, that better job is going to come from your network, not from the wanted ads, not from online. So that network is very, very important.
very good. Yeah, very, very good. So, what's been the largest single sale you've had in your business? What was the amount, the circumstances?
So, and let me just say that I was so proud when this happened last year. And this is another business that I'm in. I also founded an online educational platform where we do assessments, training, and coaching. Now, this is a business I'm in with two other individuals. And last year, we had our largest contract. It's very, very, very low six figures. Very, very low six figures, but it's still six figures.
Yeah, I was why are you making that distinction? You know, six figures is six figures. It doesn't matter if it was very, very low or very, very high. Six figures is six figures.
Well, it's interesting.
You know?
It's interesting because it's a 2-year contract. So cut that in half. It's no longer six figures. And, you know, we didn't get to touch it because all the money went to expenses, right? So, you know, it's very interesting. But
reinvested.
Reinvest into the business. But the client was Madison Square Gardens. And Madison Square Gardens, as you know, is the home of the New York Knicks. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that we're doing now for the next 2 years is we are assessing the basketball players. So, and pre-draft. So for example, if they're thinking about drafting 2 individuals, they will take our assessment. Now, the assessment is not to tell you certain things about the players. It's more to confirm certain things. So we do that for all of the G League players, the draftees, and the professional players for the next 2 years. So that's a very, very good piece of work. We're very, very proud of, and hopefully we can get more. Yeah. Hopefully
as you should be.
Business. Yeah.
So what did you guys do to celebrate? I know you have partners, but what did you guys do to celebrate? Because I know that was a big deal, you know?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
For folks who are watching and listening, you know that my assignment for Colin is to celebrate now. It's never too late to celebrate. So I give you my
permission. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am not shy of celebrating, you know, but it was more of you know, it's interesting because when I think about when I accomplish something, and I was talking to my coach, cover coach as well. And he said, Colin, when you swim, you know, 1,000 meters and you're feeling strong, show me a smile. And I said, but if I finished swimming 1,000 meters, I wouldn't smile. He goes, of course you would. I said, no. Yeah. I said, no, I'll have that, that I did it, that tough man, you know, the king, right. Yeah. So after we got this contract, it was, all right, guys, don't let up. Let's get some more. You know, and that's how we are.
Stop and smell the roses, though.
Oh yeah, we do.
To me, there's just something to me about taking time to celebrate that acknowledgement of your efforts, of your success, of your accomplishment that kind of boosts you for whatever comes up as you're administering the contract that you get. So yeah, you got my permission. You got
okay. I'll have a cocktail on you tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So what has helped you in those times when you thought of giving up to stay the course in your business? What has helped you to move through those times?
Well, Wendy, I have a very strong drive, and I believe that you have to live your life. Mm-hmm. You have to try, you have to go for it. And that's what I love about my business. My business, again, really supports what I want to do personally. I love motivating, inspiring people to achieve their goals. So everything I'm doing, the coaching, the training, it helps people have better skills, helps people to move from where they are to where they want to be. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned to you before, when I left IBM, I did not update my resume. I refused to do that.
You weren't going back to a job.
I was not going back to, I burned my boat, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not about me having the option of not doing it, because I firmly believe, as I'm doing now, I will succeed as long as I keep going. And to really use a phrase or hear something that I've heard over the last 2 years, especially last year, I'm standing on my ancestors' shoulders. My dad, my mother worked their asses off to go from the tiny, tiny hot island of Jamaica all the way to that big cold country of Canada. And then again, from Canada to the US. They worked too hard for me to give up. So no. So there is no give up. There may be some times where I say, well, SHIT, I may have made the wrong decision, But that's how you learn. But never have I thought about giving up. 'Cause I can't give up. If I give up, I don't eat.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's right. I tell people all the time that it's about living indoors with running water, you know,
Mm,
and there's no option for me to not do well, to fail.
right.
Because, you know, like you said earlier, you pivot, you reinvent, you do something
Hmm.
different, you don't stop, you know, because for me, 18 and a half years in, Colin, I'm like, I'm officially unemployable. I'm officially, unrecruitable is what I like to say too. Don't try to recruit me into some multi-level marketing thing because it's not where I want to be. Don't try to recruit me to employ me because I've been working for myself for way too long, you know. So the commitment is, okay, how do I reinvent myself? What do I do to pivot? How do I change what I do? Yeah, to stay in
Yeah.
this space. You just got to. I
You-
can't tell you how
you-
many businesses and projects that I've had in the last 18 and a half years. You know, I just, it's
yeah.
been a ton. And someone asked me what my greatest challenge was in my business. I was like, too many ideas, too little time, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm
And
always wanting to do something different, you know?
Wendy, why I gotta commend you because some people say a true entrepreneur isn't somebody who tried a single business, but somebody who keeps trying a business, failing, and keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. But you asked me a question earlier, and I want to give you a better answer. You talked
Okay.
about my ideal client. I want to share with you because sometimes people have an idea of their ideal client, and it's somebody on high, maybe a CEO who wants to make more millions, maybe it's this or that. I'll tell you what really inspired me to take action. Every day I would go to work on the subway, and I would always try to do a walking meditation. Meaning when I'm walking to the subway, smile. Because people in the morning here don't smile. And Shanghai is a city of 20 million people. So during rush hour, it's very busy. On the subway,
Crowded.
crowded, on the subway, you see people who have a glazed over look, and you can just tell that they're not happy. And I said, those are the people who I want to coach because what I see in their face, when they look like this,
Yeah.
they have that 1,000-yard stare. I think that they're saying to themselves, I hate my job, or I hate this, or I hate that, or I want to do this, want to do that, but aren't doing it. So to me, everybody on that train can be a client because I want them to walk taller, shoulders back, chest out, because they're doing what they're living the life they want to live. And one thing I've learned is if you improve somebody's life, odds are their family and their friends' lives improve as well. So I want to make sure, I want to help people transform from having that glazed over look to having a smile and having a proud look. So everybody there is my ideal client.
Awesome. Awesome. And what's been your greatest personal accomplishment outside of your business?
Outside of my business, okay, so I have to say, just say it. Okay, being married, having children. I have to say that part. Now that I got that out the way,
Okay.
it changes because I continue to push myself harder and harder. Back in 2005, it was running my first marathon. Then a few years ago, it was running a marathon on the Great Wall of China. Then doing my first half Ironman. My greatest accomplishment now is my yearly birthday run. So every year on my birthday, I'll run my age in miles. So I am 47 years old. So on my birthday, last August, I ran 47 miles. So that's my proudest personal accomplishment. I'll tell you why. Okay,
I was just getting ready to say, what does that teach you? What does that do for you in pushing yourself that way?
Well, it's the most painful thing I've done. And I know leading up to it, first of all, let me just say, there's nothing about it being fun. The first step to last step, it's not fun.
You're like, let me just make sure you know it's not fun. I didn't know what you were going to say, but that wasn't what I was saying.
But what it does, when you're going into something, knowing that it's going to test you physically, emotionally, mentally, but you know, literally, that if you keep going, you will finish. You don't know when, you're not going to feel good, but you're going to finish. And when you finish, you're totally spent. To me, that's living a full life.
Yeah.
It's living a full, and I do it every single year because I remind myself, right, that Colin, you don't have to like it. You know it's going to be painful, but once you're done, you know that you are the baddest MFer on the planet.
Yeah.
For another year. And it gets harder every year.
Constitution, I can imagine.
It does. It does. And it gets harder. It gets harder every year. And it's funny, Wendy, why? Because people I tell, they say, "Oh, Colin, so when you're 60, you're going to run 60 miles." They say such as, "I can't keep it up." And I tell them, look, if I can't do 60 miles in one day, I'll do it in 2 days. It doesn't matter, right? It's about the journey and about getting it done.
Yeah. I love that story. I love it, love it, love it. So we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll talk about your parting thought, and you have a gift for everyone. We'll be right back.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Wendy Y here, and I want to extend a personal invitation to you to join the Profitable Coaching Society. It's a growing community of more than 300 coaches, speakers, industry leaders, marketplace influencers, and emerging thought leaders who look, sound, and have businesses just like you. Over in the society, we are talking all things sales and marketing. We're talking personal development. We're talking professional development. And my goal in creating this community is to make sure you have a place where you can come and get sales and marketing support, coaching, tips, strategies, and you also have an opportunity to network with others in the community. So be sure to join me at profitablecoachingsociety.com. That's profitablecoachingsociety.com, and I'll see you over there. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Hi, this is Kathleen Gage, and you are tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. What I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and subscribe, like, review, and do whatever you need to do to get informed of the next episode going live.
Hi, I'm Allison Lex here with Jenny Wright, and you're tuned in to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey.
Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, this is Colin C. Thompson, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Welcome back, everyone. We've been talking with entrepreneur, consultant, trainer, soon to be keynote motivational speaker, Colin Thompson. And he's been talking a lot about helping people really improve their lives, moving people into spaces and places. He shared a lot of his backstory. So if there's one thing that you really want us to walk away from this whole conversation, think of it as the nugget, the most important thing that you want to leave us with. What's that parting thought for us, Colin?
Well, I want to just give your audience a bit of advice. And whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, I want you to, first of all, understand the importance of being your own cheerleader. What does that mean, being your own cheerleader? If you think about the role of a cheerleader or a cheerleading team, it's to inspire, motivate, and encourage their team. And it's funny because they do that whether the team is winning, losing, or what, win, lose, or draw. As a matter of fact, when a team is losing, the cheerleading team yells and encourages even more. So you have to be your own cheerleader, because when you're an entrepreneur or when you're going through life and you're feeling like you can't do it, you can't depend on other people to encourage you. You must be able to encourage yourself first, because if you can't encourage yourself, nobody can. So learn how to become your own best cheerleader, and always, always, always support yourself. When the team loses, the cheerleading team doesn't say, "You lost, you messed up." No. They say, "That's okay, you'll get them next time."
Yeah.
So always, always, always be your own best cheerleader.
Nice. Thank you, Colin. And you have a gift for everyone. You want to tell us about it, and we'll put the link in the show notes?
Absolutely. So I want to offer your audience a free coaching session. And what this is, it's a free coaching session, not an introductory coaching session. And there's a difference. Coaching session.
That's why I'm like, wow. Okay.
Right.
That's what you want to do?
Yes, yeah. One free session where the focus on that session is to give you some insights and some tips to help you reach your next step, as opposed to an intro session where we just talk about coaching. This is really to get straight to the goal you want to accomplish. Let's talk about how you can start really going towards your goal. So again, that is a free 60-minute coaching session.
Aren't you brave? Thank you. Look, thank you. Y'all need to say thank you to Colin, because I know the kind of commitment he's making by offering that. So Colin, thank you so much for being here, for your gift and for your wisdom and insight. I really appreciate you being here as a guest.
Thank you very much, Wendy Y.
Awesome. So thanks again to you for being here and tuning in. We'll see you next time. Be sure to join us over at the Profitable Coaching Society. Go to profitablecoachingsociety.com. I'll see you there, and I'll see you for another episode soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from Wendy Y. and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.